Hi, welcome to Excel Spanish. Today we will learn to count from 0 to 1,000 in an easy, logical manner. You can extrapolate these concepts to 10,000 and beyond, but that is a lesson for another day. I'm not a native speaker, so please forgive my pronunciations. Alright, let's go through the numbers. Using this simple table, you'll be able to count from 0 to 1,000. You can probably count from 1,000 to 10,000 and beyond using some similarities within these concepts, but that's a lesson for another day. The first number is cero. Cero. It sounds very similar to the English zero. Then we go to uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. After 15, you start to hear some familiar terms within the numbers. So 16 is Daisy, seis. You may remember seis, 6, seis, Daisy, seis. 17, Daisy, siete. 18, Daisy, ocho. 19, Daisy, nueve. When we get to 20, it's veinte, veinte. 20 is a little bit unique from the rest of the tens, which is something a bit different from English. In English, 20, 30, 40, they have the similarities where you go 21, 22, 23, 31, 32, 33. For 20, when we go to 21, it's no longer veinte, it'll be veinte, veinte. So you have 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Then we get to the rest of the tens. It gets easier, but there's a little bit of a difference between Spanish and English, right? So 30 in Spanish is treinta, treinta. 31 in Spanish, think of it as 30 and 1. Okay, so it'd be 31. And in Spanish is y. So 31. 32 would be 32. And you go on until 39, which would be 39. Then you go to 40, which is 40. 40. If 40 follows a similar type of pattern, 41, 41. Same thing for 50, which is 50. 60 is 60. 70 is 70. 80 is 80. 90 is 90. Okay. When you get to 100, 100 is cien. Cien. 100 is a very unique number because it's the only number that is pronounced and said as cien. 101 and every other 100's number is no longer going to be cien. Instead, we use ciento. Ciento. So 101 is ciento uno, 102 ciento dos, and you go on until you reach 199 using the same concept that we've discussed before from 0 to 99. The only difference is you add ciento in the beginning. Okay? When you get to 200, so 200, think of it as 200s. 200s, right? Dos cientos. The ciento is now plural, right? Dos cientos. Okay? 300, 300, 400, 400. Let's skip 500 for now. 600, 600. Let's skip 700, 800, 800. And we'll get back to 900. So 500 is a little bit different in that it is 500. 500. It's not following the same pattern that we followed before. So you don't use cinco anywhere within 500. Instead, it has its own unique term, 500. Okay? 700 is a little bit easier to remember because it's not entirely unique. You've heard something similar before. If you just remember, 700 starts with a 70. 70 was 70. 700 is 700. 700. It doesn't follow 7, which is siete, right? It sounds a little bit more similar to 70, right? 70. So 700. 900 is similar to that. So 900 is 900. Okay, 900. Again, just like between 100 and 1 to 199, you follow the similar pattern that we've discussed before from 0 to 99, right? So you just 901 will be 901. Okay. So when you get to 1,000, it's mil. The one thing to remember when you go from 1,000 and you go beyond is that it's not going to be similar to the hundreds where you have a plural of cientos, right? So you have 200s, 200. 2,000 will be 2,000. 2,000. Okay, let's do a few questions to put that table to use and see how we can use it. So let's start with a simple example. Let's say we wanted to do 95. 95. Okay, I use a simple table. You see how I analyze it. So you have a 90 and you have a 5. 90 in Spanish is noventa. 5 in Spanish is cinco. When you put it together, it's going to be noventa y cinco. Now let's do another number. Let's pick a random number. Let's say we wanted to do 123. 123. I'm seeing 3 numbers represented. So we have 100, we have 20, and we have 3. So 100 is cien, but it's going to be a number other than 100 itself. So it's going to be ciento. And 20 is 20. 3 is tres. So this will give you 123. So remember there's no Y here, which is E in Spanish, because it's in the 20s. So it'll be 123. All right, so let's try one more number. Let's say we wanted a number, say 254. 254. How do you represent this? Okay. So you have your 200, you have your 50, and a 4. All right, so 254. 200 is dos ciento. 200. 50 is 50. And 4 is 4. So putting it all together would be 250 y 4. All right, for the last one, I wanted us to do something a little bit more ambitious, right? But this is something that we're projecting. Remember, I said you could project from 1,000 all the way to 10,000. So I'm just going to do one more number, and this is a number that you're going to hear a lot. And just to give you a hint, you hear it a lot this year. It'll change a little bit next year, but you hear a lot this year. So let's try to do 2025. Okay? 2025. 2025 has 3 numbers in it. We've got 2000, we have 20, and we have 5. Okay? So 2000 is 2000. 20 is 20. Okay, and 5 is 5. Putting it all together is 2025. There you go. That's 2025. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Excel Spanish. See you next time.